Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where it is my hope to inspire you to envision more for your life. I am here in the Mediterranean, the south of Spain, Malaga to be exact. Yeah, a lot has changed. I know I just recently uploaded a video all about ADHD and technology. That video was filmed a while ago. I did end up selling my house. I did end up going to Mexico. I was supposed to go to Mexico with a friend in the intent to move there. I was going to come back to the States in November, do Christmas windows and work on my art, and then go back if I loved it. And I knew I was going to love it, but it ended up not panning out. But I am here in Spain, solo traveling. And I'm like, I don't want this channel to be like a travel channel because it's obviously been about ADHD, mental well-being, and personal development and things like that. But travel can help with your mental health, can't it? So if you want to hear about my travels, that's actually my question for you. Do you want me to post about my travels? Long story short, I am in Spain, but eventually that didn't quite, but eventually I wound up in Europe on a solo trip. I went to Mexico with a friend that ended up not working out. I have everything filmed. Do you want to hear about it? Is this channel going to be more than just ADHD, personal development, and ADHD, mental health, personal development, with a little bit of faith and travel? I know it's like so mayhemy. Gosh. Okay. Let me know your thoughts. Do you want to hear about my adventures? I feel like one person needs to be like, yeah, share it. And I'll be like, okay. But today I actually wanted to talk about ADHD and travel, the pros and cons and pros, and the good and the bad of having ADHD when you travel. All right. So I have been traveling all throughout Europe. Oh, there's like misty. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I thought there was like misty clouds on top of that mountain. Wow, you can't even see where the sky ends and the Mediterranean Sea begins. It's so pretty. Look, that's the sea, but you can't even see it. All right, I shouldn't have done that because now I got my camera all messed up. This is my funny thoughts on ADHD and travel. One, how ADHD was it of me when Mexico didn't work out? Instead of just doing probably the responsible thing and smart thing, just go back to my home. And I had asked off for 3 months. They knew I was going to be gone. I was going to be back in November. I was secretly hoping that it was going to work out that I can stay in Mexico, but I did, put my notices in, and my job was aware that I was going to come back. And if things just worked out to where I wanted to stay, I was going to stay. I wasn't going to worry about it. It's a serving job. I'm very grateful for it. It's a very nice establishment. I did leave on extremely good terms so I could go back. And it looks like I might be going back, or probably will be. So anyways, with Mexico, I really thought it was going to work out. So of course, when it didn't, instead of just going back to my job and getting back into the grind and pivoting, I was just like, you know what? I might as well travel Europe. It would have been cheaper for me to have gone with my friend who wanted to go back to Vietnam where they were living prior to Mexico, because Vietnam is a very affordable place to live, and it's very beautiful. And I could have stayed with my friend for really cheap because they already have an established life there. Even though they moved away, it'll be really easy for them. They already got job offers and everything. So they went back, and I could have just stayed with them. But I felt like as a character development spot, I decided, wow, I'm like getting attacked by bugs. I had decided to go on solo travels to Europe because it was kind of challenging with my friend. And I started, just idolizing maybe a little bit, or envying, or getting excited about the idea of solo travel based on honestly the benefits and what it can do for you as a person and how it can help with your personal development. I did the ADHD thing, and I just booked a ticket the moment I knew the date we were going to be getting back to St. Louis. Because if you want me to post the videos on all of my travels, it was a journey to Mexico. Viva la Mexico, first of all. Still, I want to aprender español. Necesito practicar mi español más. Y todos las idiomas. I still want to learn Spanish. I still want to practice my Spanish, and I want to just learn all the languages. Like, I love the world. I want to travel everywhere. After leaving Mexico, I decided the moment we got back to St. Louis, and I know that my storytelling is so ADHD, but the moment we got back to St. Louis, I just kept being like, where do you decide? How do you decide where you want to go to, where you want to travel to, when you have the whole world as an option? Like, the whole world, where do I want to go? And we can get into the details, like, well, not the whole world, because technically, like, okay, you know what I mean. I'm already pre-defending just the comments that might come. Who cares? Everybody here is amazing. You know what I'm trying to say? I had the whole world as an option, and I knew that I was going to go to Europe, especially as a solo female traveler. It is a little bit intimidating to pick certain countries over others. And I decided to go to Portugal. I just had always thought about that country. It was always a place that I had been like, why doesn't anybody ever talk about Portugal? Not that people don't, but I feel like I hear in the States, I hear a lot about, or in the United States of America, USA, whatever, I hear a lot about Brazil, but I was like, I want to go to Portugal. And then it seemed like Europe would just be like a really good, solid, safe first bet on European travel. Wow, solo female travel. And so I picked Portugal and I picked Lisbon, and then you can obviously see all the adventures from there. But I didn't quite realize like what I was going to be experiencing in terms of traveling with ADHD, because things that I learned with ADHD is I feel like I was wired for it in the sense that I'm able to really pivot and transition really well in the moment and not let myself get panicked. And I feel like I'm able to figure things out pretty easily in the sense of train platforms and ticket times and buying tickets and double checking. Because I have ADHD, I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything that I might need to know. Like by the day I need to get to what train stop or where. I did a lot of research, but I started doing research on the go. But there was a lot of moments where it was exhausting too at the same time. I definitely feel like I bit off more than I can chew in the sense of thinking I had the energy. I thought I had it in me to, I was like, I want to visit every single country in Europe. And it's just not realistic because travel days are exhausting and it does take a lot of mental energy to like figure things out in another language and then figure out platform whatever for whatever train, and it ends up being way further than the sign makes you think that it's going to be. Travel days can be a little bit exhausting, and by the time you finally get to your destination, there's not like fearful anxiety, but there is like you just want to make sure that you get to a bed in time, that you're not stranded in a foreign country with a foreign language with minimal internet on your phone or cell service or whatever on your phone and nowhere to sleep. You don't speak the language and just like screwed. So it does take a lot of like bandwidth of your energy that day. So I thought I had like before getting to Europe, because Mexico was challenging driving. I'm just going to be honest. I'm so proud of myself for doing it. And it was definitely an adventure. But Baja California, driving down that peninsula is not for the faint of heart. Let me just tell you that. But I thought like Europe was going to be easy. And maybe some people would disagree with me that it is easy. And for the most part, there are eases about it. There's things that are easy about it. But you definitely want to leave yourself a little bit more time per city. When I first got to Lisbon, I had decided to give myself 6 days because I had never done hostels before, and I'm doing hostels before, and I'm doing hostels for the first time. I really had to dig into the comment sections and the reviews and make sure that it's not just a party hostel, because people of all ages and genders stay at these hostels. You could get a mixed dorm, only female dorm, yada, 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 and they can be really cheap or they can be really expensive. Picking out hostels was really stressful, but I started noticing that with my ADHD desire of like, I'm just going to go where the wind takes me. I started realizing it that hostels are way even more cheaper when you book earlier and you have the option of only female hostels or dorms, as opposed to there was a couple times where I did mixed dorms, and I'm a little, I don't know, there's a part of me that's like on this solo trip that I'm like able to do things that maybe other people that are with me wouldn't be able to do or wouldn't want to do. And I'm kind of like so such my vibe lately. Like I'm just loving my own energy. If you're afraid to solo travel, I understand. And it took me a while to end up and like really loving my own like company just by myself. I grew up as a twin. I've always been around my amazing family, sisters, friends. I'm grateful for everybody in my life, but it wasn't until I was in my late-ish 20s, like 27 or so, that I really started learning to like enjoy just like being kind of by myself, like maybe like slowly transitioning into an introvert, not necessarily that. I don't know if ambivert is a real thing because I know there's introverts and extroverts, but sometimes like I light up when I'm around people every single time, but then I catch myself wanting to be back by myself and I light up when I'm by myself. So that's why for me, solo travel has been great because I'm not too shy, but I can be a little sensitive. Like I can be a little butthurt when like somebody's like annoyed that I asked them, like, can you take my photo? And they seem annoyed of me. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But I have to adjust and just really assess like offenses will come. Don't be easily offended. It's okay. It's just been interesting to solo travel. And I've noticed that I'm my own person that's keeping myself accountable. I have made errors. I've had to learn from those errors while traveling. I ended up waking up late one day. In my defense, I had taken a Benadryl and missed one of my buses. The people were not guiding me properly to where I had to go. It was really upsetting. I ended up tearing up that day, but I was like, gosh, this is a test. Like, how can you quickly pivot from being upset and almost crying to just, it is what it is. Like, it's okay to have emotions and be upset, but it really taught me, like, how quickly can you get out of this? Like, let's pivot. So I did. And before my sister happened to call me that day, and before she even called me, I was already in a better mood. And I didn't need anybody else to get me out of my funk other than myself. Like, I really was so proud of myself for that day. So solo traveling, even with ADHD or without, like, it just really has built up my confidence of like figuring things out, enjoying my own company, like it's gonna be okay, being smart. Meeting people, like, really, like, I don't wanna get stuck in the muck of, like, self-assessment, like, "What kind of person am I?" And, like, "What makes me happy?" But it's like traveling at your own pace and doing things your own way and realizing what you do or don't like. It's like one big episode of, like, Runaway Bride whenever she, like, realizes she doesn't know who she is because she just ends up being, like, everybody that she ever dated, so she doesn't know what kinda eggs she likes. On this trip, I've, like, kinda slowly realized more of myself that I already didn't know that I know who I am, but I feel like there are parts of me that doesn't know who I am. So I feel like traveling by myself has really given me the ability to figure myself out and, like, understand myself a little bit better, and I know that some people don't love when I talk about my faith, but it just is a part of who I am. The Lord means so much to me, so I'm just gonna go there. If that annoys you, I don't know, fast forward. But this whole trip, and including in Mexico, I feel like I realized more than ever that God is my best friend. And I don't know why I said it like that. Jesus is my best friend. Like, I clung to God really tightly on the trip to Mexico because it was a really interesting, challenging trip. And then, if anything, it just like deepened my faith. And while I've been in Europe, um, I've been able to meditate a lot on the word, on the Bible, and just sit and be peaceful and be in my own company and be able to be more present with other people. I met an amazing person when I was in Portugal, north of it's northern Portugal. I met this really like wonderful girl from Ireland. She was so cute. She was really high energy. I am so like chill. I can be high energy. I can be high energy at times though, but she was really, really like talking, talking, talking. Um, she I feel like she had a lot to say and she was adorable. I feel like I officially have traveled the world when an Irish person bought me a pint. It was the cutest moment ever. But anyways, I feel like I was able to be more present with her and let her just kind of like, I guess, take the reins of that day and just like enjoy this human being that what are the odds of me ever meeting her ever, aside from the fact that everything leading up into meeting her took place. So I don't know, it's just been an interesting journey. But with ADHD, it has been, I've been a little scatterbrained at first, but the early part of the trip was a little bit more scatterbrained. Like, what do I want to do today? Deciding what I wanted to do that day. What's really important to me? And sometimes I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this, but I'm just going to do something. Okay, great. And just getting up and starting to get ready and starting to take actions. And there was one, I was like, do I really, I didn't want to drink a lot because I had a little bit of port and wow, it knocked me out. But I was like, what do I really want to drink today? I don't know. But then I did, in the sense of like a glass of Porto with like this tour that I did. And then I realized I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's not, I'm not even going to judge myself if I have another glass of wine in the future. But just figuring out my own itinerary has been a little bit of a challenge. But then I just decide what it is I do or don't want to do, and I do it. Like today, I had the option of in Malaga going to the Picasso Museum, and I decided not to go. Like realistically, when I really think about it, I love art so much, but I've never liked his art. I appreciate it and I admire his story, but I just don't want to pay. There's everything here costs money in Europe, so I'm trying to like be on a budget, and that's another reason why I haven't done all the things because I weigh the pros and cons of spending the money on another castle or another museum or another church, but or just another event or anything live music. I've had a lot of opportunities for different experiences. Some of them I'm like, oh, that was maybe a rip off, but I decided it and hopefully I learned from it. I decided to do it and hopefully I learned from it. But I decided today not to go to the Picasso Museum, even though my sister was like, do it. I'd do it. If I was there, I'd do it. You're never going to be there again. But I'm like, even though I'm here, I genuinely don't even want to go. So it's giving me the ability to like really think about decision making. I was like, I came to Malaga to relax for a few days before I knew I was going to be going to Italy. I'm going to Italy in honor of, oh, I don't want to cry on the internet. Whew. I'm going to Italy. Okay, let's rewind. I'm going to Italy in honor of my mother and father. Not to say that I, of course, have always wanted to go. Always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to Italy, but I think because of the prices, I would have maybe not made it happen because it is way more expensive than Portugal and Spain. I have the rest of my itinerary planned out because I started noticing that the earlier you book out your Airbnb or your hostels and your bookings and your travels, the cheaper they are. Like just to get to and you have to plan it on certain days. So I started planning things specifically on this day. So I'm going to stay here for this many days, as opposed to just like, just booking for 4 days and I'll figure it out in 4 days. It started to be exhausting. I started realizing the mental weight of wondering where I was going to go was overwhelming me. And I ended up just taking a day to really think about prices and really started checking myself in my heart, like, I want to go everywhere. So why am I like trying to make sure I go here or there? Like I really wanted to go to Turkey, but it ended up being a lot more money. So, but like I have to go to Turkey. I was like, no, it's okay. You'll go if you go. And so I ended up deciding I'm just going to go to Prague. Prague is so much cheaper to get to. And then I'm going to go to Budapest and then I'm going to go to Romania and then I'm going to go back home at the end of October, which was always the original plan. So after Italy, of course. But anyways, I'm going to Italy. All that to say, I'm going to Italy in honor of my mother and father. That was the last place my mom went, and she loved Florence. So I'm going to Florence, and I'm so excited. She went to Rome. I'm true to ADHD. My Italy leg of my trip is going to be mayhem because I'm only going to be in Rome for a day, and then I leave the next day for Florence for 2 days, and the next day for Venice, and I'll be in Venice for my birthday. So I'm really excited. I feel like that's definitely like what was I thinking when I booked all that, but I just wanted to go to Rome, and that's the ADHD, like, do now and think later, and I'm like, "Oof." I only had 2 days in Venice as well, but when I was looking at flights to Prague, it was actually cheaper to extend my stay in Venice and fly to Prague later, so that's why I ended up adjusting things. I kept doing that for everything. I ended up deciding to leave Prague a little bit different and go to Budapest on a different day because just pricing and everything just adjusted in a way that was it just all made sense. And then in Romania, I have a little hostel that's not quite in the city, but it's by myself, which I'm really excited. I actually love the hostel experience. It's so cool. You get to meet all different kinds of people. You get to learn about yourself and reflection of interacting with them, like having my alone time and then meeting other people. People are so adorable and like all of us have resting bitch faces and we all think that we're not nice until we meet each other and then we laugh. Kidding, that happened today. But hostels have been great. The only problem to me is the sleep. I'm not getting any normal sleep, and it's been a challenge. Like everybody's snoring at night. I'm wide awake. I've taken my melatonin. I don't have my typical habits that I had built up that I mentioned in my last video. I was like, I had my sleep down pretty solid. I feel like every like out of 7 days, one of them would be messed up in a week. But now, like, it's a miracle if I wake up like before 11. I just like struggle to sleep in the night. I'm like awake till 4 in the morning. I'd also been stressing about my travels, but I guess I don't know. It's been really fun. I've had a lot of experiences on my own. Like it's like you have these experiences that only you know that you had, like racing to get to a bus and you almost made it and you miss it, and then you make it, but you make it to the bus stop, but there doesn't make sense where the bus is, and like you're struggling to navigate it. But because you speak enough Spanish, you understand enough Portuguese, which those languages are similar, and like you make it to the bus stop in time. You feel super genius, and you sit down and you're just like. And then next to the next destination. It's like super exciting. It's like time travel. Like you're just like fall asleep on a bus and you wake up and you're this whole new city and it's super cool. So if anybody ever has an opportunity to just travel like that, I recommend it, even if it's for a week or 2 weeks or a little bit more. There's ways to do it really cheap. I recommend looking that up, looking up hostels, looking up like tips and tricks on how to travel for cheap. But it's been really great. There is a really cute dog coming my way. Hi. It's okay. I thought it was gonna pee right in front of me, but it didn't. That dog was really cute. It was a poodle. I wonder if I could show you the sunset. Boop, 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 boop. Isn't it so pretty? Hits pits, as my dad would say. Wait, I never mentioned. That's what I want to say, and then I'm probably gonna let you go. It's getting dark. There's like I feel so safe in this city. I feel super safe in Spain. Maybe not quite Madrid late at night because it was. I felt safe. I felt safe in Portugal. There was like some shady characters at times. It's getting so dark. There were some shady characters at times, but oh, there's a full cigarette. But just use your wits. I don't know. I grew up in LA and St. Louis, so it's like I know like just be smart. I tried not to be out super late, but in my hostel in Lisbon, and it ended up being in a really cute area. And I saw some crazy characters, but there was enough people around where I didn't feel super alone. Like I feel really safe in Malaga. I felt really safe in Seville. I felt really safe in Madrid. I didn't go out late at night in Madrid. I felt safe in Porto and I felt safe in Lisbon. I'm about to be going to Italy. I'm a little nervous for Italy. I met a girl in my hostel now that's from Italy. She told me to be careful with obviously pickpocketers. I don't want to stereotype, but I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to just assume everybody's dangerous in Italy. I don't think that's the case. Obviously I'm from the United States. We're not known as the safest country ever, but I'm from a safe part of St. Louis. So St. Louis is one of the most dangerous cities. I don't know. It's been an interesting experience. I feel like I'm just at the beginning of my trip and I still have so much more to go. Uh, but hmm, another doggy dog. Um, Obviously, when you're planning on packing things to go, I packed so fast. I got to St. Louis and decided to leave within a day and a half. I'm all over the map, by the way. I wanted to talk about my dad and mom. I decided to leave within a day and a half, and I had to pivot and buy a backpack from Amazon. I bought everything while I was in Mexico when I was already deciding I was going to go. I hadn't even officially told my friend yet. I just started buying things and having them shipped to my sister. I binge watched videos on backpacking and what you want to bring, how much you want to bring, about packing cubes, and like how much weight you want to carry. I ended up not getting a backpack that I wanted, which was a Calpac backpack, because it was not going to get there in time. But I ended up getting a Patagonia backpack, and just really checklisted everything that I would need and categorized it, toiletries, clothing, bedding, anything like that. Bedding. I did bring like a little, like almost like a sleeping bag, but it was like a sheet sleeping bag, just because, you never know what kind of bed you're getting into. But decided to go, book my ticket, found the cheapest way to get to Europe, and then the rest is history. I just early on, I was like making decisions as they came, but then I realized I wanted to mentally just like be at peace. And this is like literally getting really dark. Decision making has been a challenge, but I feel like I've gotten better at it. I'm not perfect. I'm not Sleep has been the most challenging thing ever because it kills my momentum on wanting to see anything. I'm gonna start heading out. It's so getting dark. Jeez. Yeah, it's been a really good experience. It's been very educational on myself and on the Lord. I finished the Bible today. It's my second time reading through the Bible. I've been doing a Bible reading plan called the Bible Recap with Tara Cobble because he's where the joy is. No, if you ever want to, even if you don't believe in anything, and you're just curious about the Bible and have somebody explain it and walk your way through it, that's there. It makes me curious about other not historical, sorry, other religious and historical texts, like the Quran and the Talmud and things like that, and other religions. Because I was a Christian my whole life and never had read the Bible. Then I lost my faith, and then God found me in my mind, in a beautiful, um, miraculous way. And so then I was like, wow, I've never read the Bible. And I had dedicated my whole life to this, lost my faith. And when I found God again, I was like, I want to read the Bible. And so I did. But it's still, you have um, to know the Lord, you have to seek the Lord. So there's always something more to find. So I had read it once and I decided I wanted to read it again. It's so crazy. You can't even see where the sky ends and the sea begins. But I'm just curious about other religious texts. Anyways, I finished reading the Bible today. I'm, and then I have to pack, and then I leave for Romania. I leave for Rome tomorrow. And I want to go to not the footsteps, the potential prison where Paul was imprisoned in Rome, and Peter. Tomorrow I go to Rome, and I'm excited and nervous. But that's the thing, is it's like there's nervous excitement for every city I traveled to. And travel days and they start really exciting, but I dread them every time. But then the morning of, I get really rejuvenated because I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to a new place today. So it's an interesting roller coaster of emotions. And then you meet all wonderful people. I've met amazing people the whole way, but the one person you kind of get to know the most, I feel like, is yourself. And in my case, the Lord. So also builds your confidence on, ADHD, like with my crazy little brain and the way I've been navigating this entire trip, I only mess up on my own dime. I don't have to do it in front of other people. And if I do come off weird to somebody because I have ADHD and I mess up talking like to these British girls, or actually one of them was British, one of them was Australian. See, I actually said the USA and America, and I meant to say the USA and Mexico. Like it just glitched and I was embarrassed. And it's like, well, in 2 days, I don't have to see you ever again. Not that it mattered. Like, it's like those moments where I was like, it's okay. They can think what they want about me. But it does build your confidence with somebody with ADHD. It's like, yeah, I did that. I can do that. I can do things. I can travel. I can navigate. And you could do it on your own, you know? So, anyways, this was just my update. I ended up not doing any filming in Malaga because it's a very chill, calm beach town. And I just chose it as a relaxing 5, 6 day trip for myself because I also started getting sick. I got a fever while I was here and I just like relaxed and I would come to the Mediterranean Sea or the beach and I would relax and just sit here and listen to the ocean, listen to the waves. It's very chill and watch people watch till my heart's content. And and it's okay. I didn't put pressure on myself to do anything because I'm the only person that's here. Like nobody else is going to be like, you didn't go to that place. I'm like, well, if I really have to go, I'll come back. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to know anything else, please let me know. Sorry, my nose is like dripping. Please let me know in the comment section below and share your thoughts on solo travel. Have you ever done it? Even as a female or a male. I just met a guy today from Ibiza, and his family's from Morocco, and he speaks Arabic, French. I thought it was because of Morocco, but it's actually because of a friend of his speaks French. Anyways, he speaks Arabic, French, English, and Spanish. Wouldn't that be nice? And he was first time solo traveling, and he's like nervous, doesn't know anybody, and he's excited. And like, we're all sensitive people with so much to give, as they say. So it's just cute meeting people. I mean, I think people are so cute, but sometimes they could be annoying. You know what I mean? Pros and cons and cons and pros. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and please remember to subscribe, click the notification bell and all the things. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and also let me know if you want me to edit and post all of my adventure up until now because it will be like, my channel will be like, where we talk about all things ADHD, mental well-being, personal development, travel, and the Lord. Or it just could be a travel channel with a girl with ADHD that talks about ADHD, traveling, and she happens to be a Christian. Like, it doesn't have to be. Okay, I'll stop. Wow, bye. Oh, I am walking back to my hostel, by the way. And hi. And the one thing that, or first of all, Americans, I think we smile too much at people. People like, hi. I don't think anybody does that. And I'm about to be going to the Czech Republic and Romania and Hungary. And I don't know if they smile a lot because I just met a girl from Germany and she's like, we don't smile. She didn't say that, but she was just like, we have a reputation for being just like, but whenever I was in Germany years ago, nobody ever called out my resting bitch face. But in the United States, whew, people have things to say. But true to ADHD form, procrastinating last minute, I'm walking in my hostel because I have to take a shower, let my, like, known for traveling, like hostel towel. It's like a specific towel that packs really small. So it's like microfiber, I think. Um, so I need to let that dry so then I can pack it, figure out my clothes for tomorrow's travel day. And then I have to get up and be at the airport. I have to leave, I think, by 5 something tomorrow. And I think it's, what time is it? My handy dandy, well, it's 9 o'clock now. So I have to take a shower, pack, and have my outfit ready for tomorrow so I can get up and leave quietly without waking everybody up. And it's 9 o'clock. So I got a hustle, baby.